Well, let's look a bit closer at the big man, Mauricio Pochettino, and kind of look at his top 10 best coaching moments, starting with number 10, his first ever match back in 2009, a 0-0 draw with Espanyol against Barcelona in the Catalan derby, and that was a Pep Guardiola's Barcelona.
That was an all-time great Barcelona. That, by the way, ex-Espanyol player himself, he knows what it means to him, still lives in Barcelona, so a very special game, no doubt.
Oh my days, look at his hair. He looks like a Fabio from a novella. In at number 9, his first Premier League win. This came back in 2013. A lot of people forget he managed the Saints, that is Southampton. A 3-1 win over Manchester City, who were then the actual champions.
No way they were actual champions back then. Come on. Were they really?
Look at Prime Joe Hart.
That was the first one. They snatched it out of United's hands in the final match day. I remember that. You're right.
Yeah, we don't need to do that. That's the Aguero.
That was the Aguero.
Take the shirt off. We don't need to see that.
Joey
we don't
Barton,
need to see that again.
Oh, man.
Back to April 2024. I was there for this game, unfortunately for me. Chelsea with 2 stoppage time goals to beat Manchester United 4-3. Was raining it down. Look at a very sad Mason Mount, probably regretting leaving Chelsea. But Mauricio Pochettino said, there you go. Hold some 4-3.
Was that the Enzo free kick?
Yeah.
That was the Enzo free
look
kick.
at Conor Gallagher looking happy. He's probably not so happy now as he's on his way out, or trying to be.
Well, trying to be.
Trying. In at number 7, September 2013. Now, this one is definitely something to celebrate. He was with the Saints yet again, and the Saints went marching to Anfield, and they got a narrow 1-0 win. Ooh, against a Brendan Rodgers Liverpool, which, Herc, we know Anfield is an absolute fortress.
Well, it wasn't that day. I'll tell you that much. What do you want? You're setting me up here.
Fair play. I did give you a nice little assist for that one. In at number 6 now, November 2017, Champions League group stages. Tottenham Hotspur beating who? What? Yes, Real Madrid, the reigning champions of the Champions League, the all-time champions. 3-1 to get to the knockout stages. Look, you're upsetting a Real Madrid with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, that same Real Madrid lost to Ajax that year as well. So, yeah, I mean, wasn't their proudest moment. And then it was Spurs who ended up beating Ajax to make it to the final.
Exactly. Well, in at number 5, this one's just a nod to him developing talent. I mean, look at some of the names that he's been able to work with. Harry Kane, we know exactly how special he is. Enzo Fernandez there. Cole Palmer. Luke Shaw as well. Eric Dyer, who is still very much kicking on. And Dele Alli.
We're giving him credit for Cole Palmer? Okay.
Well, he did bring out some of the best for him.
I mean, I give him credit for Son. I'll give him credit for, Dele Alli. But come on, Cole Palmer? What?
Yeah, but Cole Palmer was the best thing about Chelsea last season.
Yeah, but he didn't develop them.
Well, he helped.
Man City developed them.
He gave him a breakthrough season. Anyways, let's go. Number 4, some of the trophies he's won with PSG. French Cup back in 2021 and the Ligue 1 in 2022. And you know the absolute star-studded squad he had at PSG, Herc.
I mean, we're going to have this as number 4. I told Sebi he could coach there and win. You could coach there and win as well. You're supposed to win if you're PSG. Mm-hmm. It'd be a travesty if you don't win if you're PSG here.
Are you calling it a Farmers League? He's calling it a Farmers League. Number 3, let's see if this gets some respect from you. Spurs Champions League qualification. He secured it for them for the first time in 5 years back in the 2015-2016 season after a 3rd place finish in the Premier League. Come on, that's definitely a nice notch in his cap.
It is. 3rd place, number 3, 3rd spot. I got no problem with that.
No problem with that. Like I said, Spurs back in the Champions League then for the first time in 5 years. And sure they're missing him a bit now. Number 2, this one's a nice one. Another win this time against Barcelona at the Camp Nou with Espanyol back in February 2009. This was Espanyol's first win there in 27 years.
Yeah.
That is a big achievement.
Yeah, those two are rivals, Barcelona and Espanyol. They're massive rivals. First one in 27 years versus that team, that legendary Barcelona, Pep Guardiola, Lionel Messi team, one of the best teams in all of world football's history. Yeah, number 2 is a nice one.
Oh, that was unbelievable. There can only be one, and it is that night in Amsterdam where, yes, Spurs scored 3 second-half goals against Ajax to book their spot in the UEFA Champions League final. This was an epic night, man.
Take that, Eric Ten Hag. Was he still there?
Stop it.
He was. Look at Onana. He's getting the group back. De Ligt, Mazraoui, Lisandro.
Well, Mal, before we let you go, I have to pick your brain on one thing, and that, of course, is the news of Mauricio Pochettino becoming possibly the next head coach for the U.S. men's national team.
Why are you asking him about that?
Because he's a Mexicano, and we're all CONCACAF rivals. So I, as a Jamaican, last week, I was feeling big and strong, knowing I got Steve McLaren. Yeah. That's a big appointment for us. And now to see the USA just blow our news out of the water with a Mauricio Pochettino, I'm feeling a little bit salty, but I know it had to be done. So you, as their nearest rival with El Tri, what do you think of this news, Mauricio?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm in panic right now. They got a great coach, and I think it's just and I mean this honestly, not ironically, as sometimes I tend to say things. That's not the case. I feel that from the pool of managers that were in reality candidates for this job, he was the best name. Because let's face it, Jurgen Klopp was never a real candidate for the job. He didn't even take the phone call. Thomas Tuchel, same way. I mean, we're not even going to talk about Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, all the managers. But from the other tier of managers to which Mauricio Pochettino actually belongs, which is not elite manager, but really good, experienced managers, he was probably the best name available, and they got the best name available. So I think it's an amazing appointment. I like the fit. I've been hearing during the day people criticizing the style in which Pochettino played at PSG and Chelsea. That was not his nature. He had to adapt to those players, to those clubs. But when he was the manager at Tottenham, when he was the manager at Southampton, he really likes to play aggressive soccer, aggressive football. And considering the players that he's going to have in this pool, American pool of players, I think it's a good fit. So I tip my cap to the U.S. men's national team. They got a great name, the best name available. And as a follower and a fan of the Mexican national team, I fear that the gap now is going to be bigger between the two teams, because Mexico went with the compadre of the federation who he likes to do beers with, to do Bacardis with, and the U.S. got themselves a proper manager who's really looking to the future. So yeah, I'm upset. I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
Just to put into perspective, today I did digital segments. I did 2 sports centers, and I did football center in Spanish in Latin America. And
Dale un besito al salario.
And every single platform I was on, Mal's not going to let me lie, they did a comparison of the U.S. and Mexico, and this is not a joke, the legit question of which one was a better hire. Mauricio Pochettino for the U.S. men's national team or Javier Aguirre for the Mexican national team. Straight-faced, these are the questions I got in every single platform, and you can't help but to think, like, how great this was for the U.S. men's national team, but where it puts in perspective the situation with Javier Aguirre today, because Mao is right. Maybe they could have gotten a better candidate, but they chose to go for the Alto Comisionado, the guy who runs things in the Mexican Federation, his best friend, his compadre. And this isn't just us saying it's his compadre tongue-in-cheek. It really is.
Yeah.
So they reverted to that to put things into perspective.
All right, well, let's leave it there then, boys. Mauricio, thank you so much, as always, for joining us. And if you want to see more of Mauricio...
Thank you for making me angry in this segment. It was just bad news. Thank you for
making
my night. Thank you for making me miserable. I love you.